Today I'm going to talk about efficient ways to get around the TradeStation development environment and work with code. These are worth learning because they also work in other programs like VSCode, PyCharm, Microsoft Word, Notepad, Notepad++, and a lot of other text editors. These shortcuts can improve editing speed and also efficiency. Now, some of these you've probably already used or you're familiar with, but I hope to show you some that you haven't seen before. They do take a while to get used to, so I created a PDF of them and posted a link in the description below. Okay, let's get to it. I encourage you to follow along with me to get a feel for how these shortcuts work. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to open the halted indicator. I'm just going to click on something here and type HAL, and there's halted. Press enter. We don't want to modify this indicator, so we're going to do some of the navigation things here. We're going to do Control A, and we're going to select all. And then we're going to do Control C and copy it. I'm going to close that. Now I'm going to create a new indicator that we can work with as the editor. And I'm just going to name it this. Feel free to name it whatever you want. Then I'm just going to verify it. I did a Control V to paste. So now we have that indicator there. The other thing I want to talk about on this line is Control X. Control X is a cut. It does a copy, but it also removes the text. So I can do Control X there, and then slide all the way down here and add it. Now, if I want to put that back, I can do number 2 here. We can go undo with Control Z. So I'll press Control Z. That removed it. That removed the extra line. And it put it back up here. Now, let's say I did want that removed. I can do Control Y, and it will actually remove it. So now it's neither at the top nor at the bottom. But I do want it there, so I'm going to do Control Z and undo that. Number 4, we can jump to the beginning and end of line using home and end. So anywhere in the line, I'll just press home, and then end will go there. If I press home twice, it will jump to the beginning of the line next to the margin. So we have end, home, home again. Number 5, jump to beginning of page using Control Home. There's Control and Home. And then number 6, jump to the end of the page using Control End. Control End. So we have Control Home, Control End. Number 7, move the cursor a word to the right using Control Right Arrow. I do use this quite a bit. Start here and do Control Right Arrow. See that it jumped over that punctuation, that period there. It also stops at the equal sign, but it will also jump by words. Number 8, move the cursor a word to the left. So we're going to use Control Left Arrow, and this will go backwards. Number 9, Control Up Arrow. That scrolls the screen up. Number 10, Control Down Arrow. That scrolls the screen down. I found these by accident, and I honestly don't use them very much. Now, all the navigation shortcuts use Control and some other key. As we get into the selection part next, we're going to start using Shift. You can think of Control as extending the distance or jumping by word or by pages or by sections. So number 11, we're going to select a block of text using the Shift Up arrow. I'm going to start here and do Shift Up. Now, if you wind up with something that doesn't wind up selecting the whole line, you can just use Shift Home, and that will select the rest of the line. Start here at the front, Shift down. If you wanted to select the whole thing, you could Shift down like that. If you have a large section of code that you want to copy, but it doesn't all fit on the screen, like if we wanted to look at all these methods and copy them, what I do is I come up here and I select the cursor in front of what I want to copy, and I come down here to the last method. I hold Shift and then click at the end of that. It winds up selecting everything from the cursor to where I clicked. Next is Shift Page Up and Shift Page Down. So if I hit Shift Page Up, it kind of randomly selects a page. You don't really know where it's going to end. So I don't use that one too much. If I'm going to Shift Page Down, I'll usually start here at the beginning or somewhere here in the margin. That way I can get the entire line. Number 12, indent a block of text. We're going to highlight the text and then press Tab. I'm going to highlight some text. I'm using Shift Down arrow. Now I'm pressing Tab and that indents. Number 13 will unindent a selected block of text. So we're going to highlight the text and then press Shift Tab. So we've already got the text highlighted, so I'm pressing Shift and now I'm pressing Tab, and it moves that back. So I'll put it back where it was. I use this a lot when I'm formatting code. Let's say we had some code that came in that was kind of all over the place. I'll show you a quick way to realign all this code. I'm going to highlight it here. I'm going to run Shift Tab, and I'm going to run it all the way up against the margin. And as you can see, these are all lining up. Once it's all against the margin, then I just press Tab, and there it's all aligned. Number 14, select line or part of line using Shift Home and Shift End. If I'm here, I can hold Shift and press End, and it highlights that. Or if I'm here, I can hit Shift Home, and if I press it again, it goes to the beginning of the line. Number 15, select from cursor to beginning of code using Control Shift Home. Say I wanted to go from here to the top of the code, Control Shift, and then hit Home. Number 16, select from cursor to end of code, Control Shift End, Control Shift, and then press End. So that's selected from there to the end of the code. Number 17, select by word, Control Shift left arrow and Control Shift right arrow. I do Control Shift and then tap the right arrow key. I can select that text. I can also do the left arrow key and select it backwards. Say I wanted to target this text. I would probably go End, Control left arrow, and then one left, Control Shift left, 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 and do it that way. That's if I just wanted to do it with the keyboard. All right, that wraps up the selection part of it. Let's talk about deleting. I do use these two, number 18 and 19, quite a bit. So number 18 is delete by word from the right using Control Delete. So if I come in here and Control Delete, it deletes items from the right. Control Z will put those back. If I want to delete to the left, Control Backspace. Control Z puts them back. And the code still verifies. Before we go, let's do some code formatting based on the things that we've learned today. I'm going to press Control A and select all of this. And then I'm going to hit Shift Tab. And I'm just going to move all of these to the left. So now all of this code is left justified. So now our job is to use the things that we learned today to be able to format this code. And I'll talk through the key presses as I do them. So I want to do these inputs. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to do Shift up arrow, Home, and then Tab. Shift up arrow, Home, Tab. Home, Tab. I didn't have to highlight that because it was one line. You can also do it this way. Now this, since it's more code, I'm just going to highlight it here and do Tab. This allows me two-hand functionality because most of the time I'm just tabbing and then I'm selecting with the right hand. So here I'm looking for a begin and an end. So I'm going to tab into that. My begins and ends are here. That's got to be moved over. That gets moved over, and so does this one. I don't like this here, so all I'm going to do is just press Delete. Tab there. Here's my begin and end, so I'm going to grab everything here. Tab, insert that, end of line. Now, one thing you notice is that line was actually indented. So when I just pressed delete, it brought the line up with the leading spaces. If I don't want that, I'm just pressing Control Z. I can do Control Delete, and it brings it right up, and then all I have to do is a space. Let's indent that. Indent that. And give that some space. Verify it. We have no errors. Let's look through the code, see how it looks. It looks good. Window docking. I want to dock this window to the right. I hold the Windows key and then hit the right arrow key, and it will dock it. And then if I hit the left arrow key, it will redock it back to the left side. You can also pull this off using a Windows left arrow key, and it will dock it to the left. And then this one will redock it to the right. That's using Windows right arrow key. You can also maximize the window using the Win Up arrow. Pressing Windows up arrow, it may go through several transitions before it actually gets to the state that you want. Pressing Windows down arrow will pull it off of that, and then Windows left arrow will dock it to the left side. And that works for left or right. So I've showed you 20, 21, 22, and 23. And then we can resize these docked windows. We can move the divider with the mouse. There's a little divider here. This is Windows 11. So if I move that, it'll resize both of them. And that's a wrap for this one. If you like this video, be sure to tap the like button. Subscribe if you'd like to be notified when I release new content. And thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.